Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the Xbox 360. Now if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. So, I wanted to talk about this console for a while, and I've done a couple of revisiting videos on the consoles before, but I wanted to talk about the Xbox 360 today because I really do like this console. But before I start, I kind of have a faulty system because I bought it from shopgoodwill.com. And that's the same place where I bought my NES, and I was like, I should have learned to not buy from them because it said on the description of the listing, it said tested, powered on, no further testing done. And I'm like, okay, so it works. But unfortunately, this thing has the red ring of death. The thing is though, is that it worked sometimes. I actually did a hack where like you put the Q-tips in to make it overheat on purpose, so it goes down to the 2 rings of death and etc. Luckily it's starting to work again, but it's just like so faulty, so I don't know if it's even gonna work for this review. But so I wanted to talk about it today because I've always been more of an Xbox fan than a PlayStation person. So this is one of the earlier models. It's the white version, and the thing about these models is that they were notorious for the red rings of death. Like, I think there was a thing where like they would replace your console for free if that happened. I mean, I should have known because it's like I bought the NES from the same website and it didn't work, so I had to replace it. But yeah, so here's the original Xbox 360. The front has the big circle button to turn on the console, and then this disc tray, which the reason why I got rid of my old Xbox 360 is because this disc tray always got stuck. But luckily this one does work. When I got rid of my Xbox 360, my old one, it had the 125 gigabyte storage on it. And this one only has 9 gigabytes. So you can switch out the hard drives to get more space. But yeah, so I shouldn't have gotten rid of that. I probably should have taken it out before I got rid of it. I got rid of it at like a yard sale. But yeah, so there's the memory units right there, and that's where you plug in the controllers and the USB drives. I really do like the Xbox 360, and I'm not sure if they're still making titles to this day, because it did come out in 2005, the first version. It's kind of crazy to see that a console this old has had games way past its initial launch date. Yeah, so here's the back. It is component, or I think you could do composite too, and then I always do HDMI because it looks better, and then you could plug in an Ethernet cable to that port right there, and there is another USB port right there too. Yeah, so actually I think it says on here this particular console was made or manufactured in 2007. So around 2 years after your initial launch date. I really like the Xbox 360, mainly because it's just like, it has so many great games like Halo 3, Skate 3, it has a lot of great titles. And I also wanted to revisit this controller. I think this is the best controller ever made. I mean, every time I use it, it's just like, it's so comfortable in the hands. I did mention in my original Xbox video that I like the Duke controller, which a lot of people don't. Comparing it to even the Duke controller, it's a lot better. Like, it's just like, I just think it has such the perfect layout with the D-pad, the 2 joysticks, and the buttons, and this. So I just really like this design. And some people kind of compare it to the Xbox One controller, and I don't mind the Xbox One controller. I really prefer this one because it has the back and start buttons, and I really do prefer that. But yeah, it's just, I really do like this controller. So I want to talk about some of the games real quick, and I really like Minecraft, for example. Like, Minecraft on the Xbox 360 is awesome. And also with the Xbox 360 is that it is compatible with most of the original Xbox games, so it's backwards compatibility. And I really do like that because if you wanted to like get, or maybe do like an Elgato capture card, and like you can hook it up to an Xbox 360 to have higher quality for those original Xbox games. That's what I might do in the future because I remember in the original Xbox video, I did a cheap capture card. That's actually right here. This thing for like $6, and it sucks. I just recommend getting the Elgato because it's just so much easier. You can also do composite in also, and you can do HDMI in and HDMI out. And I would recommend getting that because it's just so much better. The thing that sucks is that this console I have right here, it's just like, it's faulty. Like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And what I recommend is, because there are several different versions of the Xbox 360. There is the Xbox 360 original version, Xbox 360S or the Slim, and the Xbox 360E. And I recommend getting the Slim because it's just, the malfunctions are way less common. I think the E version is fine, but they tried to make it look too much like the original Xbox One in my opinion. I would rather get the Slim because it's just so much better. It's so much more reliable. I wouldn't really recommend getting an Xbox 360 like I did. Goodwill just says it turns on, but they don't specify that's a red ring of death. I would recommend getting an older version because it has the chance of having the red ring of death. I also want to show you guys why I picked up this console for this reason. Because, well, I didn't intend it to have the red ring of death. There's different versions of the red rings of death. I'm not sure exactly what they all mean. I have the 3 red rings of death, and I saw on the website that it says your console is basically screwed, but that's not true because I've turned it on and it works sometimes. So I'm not sure why that's the case, because I've seen like on different websites that say, oh, this is like what is going on with the console in this specific time, because I have the 3 red rings, and most of the time that means your console's screwed. You like don't even bother. But mine luckily does work sometimes, but I have a feeling it's gonna shut down and do the red rings of death after I stop recording because it's that unreliable. So I would recommend getting the Slim version. I wouldn't recommend getting this version because it's just like, it's too unreliable, and it just looks better, the Slim, and even to an extent the E, because I mean, I do like this white, but it's just the fact that it has the red ring of death. Just spend a little bit more money and get a Slim because it'll be so much better for you. So yeah, so I wouldn't recommend getting this version. I'm not sure how much the Xbox 360 Slims are on eBay. They're not that terrible at pricing compared to like older games of that era. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a shorter video, but I wanted to revisit the Xbox 360. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.